Hi everybody, how you doing? I hope that this finds you well. And as promised on the header of the newsletter, I wanted to talk about anxiety today, and I wanted to start off by talking about how anxiety is something that we do rather than something that we are. So often in my practice, I hear people kind of say, I suffer from anxiety. The implication being that somehow they are that anxiety. And actually, that's not how it works. Anxiety is actually something that we do. So it's bizarre, right? Because then it becomes like, well, why am I doing it? Because I don't want to feel this way, so why am I doing it? And actually, anxiety is a way of thinking. And you'll have heard me if you watch me kind of through Facebook Lives, through stuff here. You know that the specialisms that I work in not only because of the certificates that are on the wall over there, but also because it's the stuff I have personal experience of. So the normal relationship with food, depression, anxiety, absolutely. I totally get what these feelings are like. I understand completely what it feels like to be there and to, quite frankly, want to get out of it. And so often that anxiety manifests itself as a fear or imagining something going wrong. So a fear of something bad happening or imagining something bad happening, so often, like my clients will talk about, it's like a movie playing in the mind, right? It's so vivid, it's so real. You can see it happening before it's ever really happened. Now what happens is this. So your brain is clever, but your subconscious bit of your brain, okay, that animalistic bit of our brains, it can't differentiate between the thought. So that thought process, remembering anxiety is something that you do. Anxiety is a thought process. It's not a thing that is happening. So those that take it back, those things that you do, that you can imagine happening, that you can see as a movie in your mind, or you're waiting for the bad thing to happen, okay, that's not an actual thing. It's the thing that you're imagining is going to happen. But what happens is our subconscious gets totally, it doesn't know that. It can't differentiate between the two. So it literally thinks that something bad is happening, right? It's important, this. So kind of you created this kind of like, it's like a self-protection mechanism, right? You're kind of waiting for this kind of bad thing to happen. The subconscious bit of your brain thinks, oh my goodness, something bad is happening. And that's when you get that fight or flight response. That's when you feel it physically. So often my clients will talk about, kind of like there's a feeling here or in the solar plexus, kind of wherever we kind of hold it. So often it's kind of in sort of our torso kind of area. But that's why we start and feel it, the kind of the raised heart rate, all of that, because that subconscious bit of us naturally thinks that it's happening and that we are actually in danger. And we feel it. So you've got to remember, like I've said before, if you watch my Facebook feeds and things, kind of, we all think that somehow our mind and our body operate separately of each other. They don't. Kind of like our mind thinks one thing and then we start and feel the physical effects of it. It's totally linked. It makes perfect sense when you think about it, right? Your head sits on your shoulders, but we somehow think that kind of mentally it operates separately. It doesn't. It's all linked together. So, and if you take kind of at the moment, I've spent a lot of time just recently talking about lockdown and all of those things. And, kind of like we live in really uncertain times at the moment. Lockdown has been a nightmare. We're all wondering when it's going to end. Kind of like, are our jobs going to be okay? When are schools going to open again? Are we ever kind of, when are we going to get to see friends and loved ones again? All of that stuff. Kind of really, really, it's all uncertain. And as human beings, we're not designed to like uncertainty, right? And so kind of that adds to this kind of feeling of anxiety and, kind of like what's going to happen. And so I'm seeing more and more that this level of anxiety is playing out more and more and more. It's busy in here kind of at the moment for a reason. And I think some of it is the sign of the times. Also as well, you know, kind of anxiety kind of is now such a big umbrella term for so much in the way that we kind of feel it. But it was important to start this little video today explaining what anxiety is, what it's not. So if you are out there and you've got kind of anxiety going on, know now that it's not you. It's something that your mind does. It's a thought process, it's a way of thinking. It is not you. So you can remove that label, okay? We become the things that we label ourselves. So what do? If you are there and you are suffering from anxiety, so for a lot of you, you'll know that a lot of what I do, it's rooted in CBT and hypnotherapy, and it's putting the two together. So the first thing I kind of talk to people about is actually coping with those bodily symptoms. Fixing it bodily, physically first, before you start and deal with mind, actually fixing the body bit, right? So those anxiety symptoms, the kind of way you're feeling it, all of those sorts of things. And so often the place that it starts, you know, kind of the simplest, easiest place to explain on video about kind of where it starts is with the breathing. So you can quickly center yourself, quickly bring things kind of back into line with 3 really deep, slow breaths. And it goes like this, right? It's this slow. So you go, hold it. I've got my hand on my stomach, which is what you can't see kind of on the video. And you feel your stomach go in, you hold it, and you let it go. And as you let it go, you can watch what happened to my shoulders, right? You can literally feel your body start and come down. So that's step number 1. Step number 2 then is we have to move on to relaxing the mind, okay? And we do that by giving the mind a different picture. So if you think about the example when I was explaining anxiety kind of up front of this video, the picture that we so often have is really vivid. It's of something bad happening. It's of what's the thing that's going to go wrong. And so we need to change that picture. And here's how you change the picture, right? So kind of, so often it's about kind of something happening in the future. So to change the picture right now, you can just change the thought. So the thought becomes, in the here and now, what's true right now? In the here and now, I'm okay. In the here and now, what's true is I am okay. I don't know about, 10 minutes time, 10 hours time, 10 days time. There is a possibility that it might not be okay, right? Of course there is. But right now, right here, I am okay. Let me say it again, so powerful. Right now, it's true, I am okay. What that's doing is it's sending a very, very clear message to that bit of your subconscious that thinks that you're in danger, okay? And you can apply it to everything, right? Whether it's like worrying about kind of family, finances, the future, kind of whatever it is, you can put that good in your mind. Because anxiety is not who we are, it's something that we do, you can put that good actually in your mind. Amazing. Like once you realize that you can kind of grab a hold of it in that way, that's where it starts. You'll have heard me talk on here before so many times about, I am passionately, if you take nothing else from this video, right, I passionately believe that anxiety is not something that you have to manage. It's not something that you have to kind of learn to live with. It's something that you can totally move on from and handle in a different way. But you've got to take those steps with the physical, and then you've got to train your mind in order to be able to think that way. I hope this video has been useful. I'm going to keep this stuff coming on the newsletters. Let me know what you think. And if you are suffering at the moment, There's only so much I can put on video, right? But if you are suffering, if nothing else, know that this can get better. I'm living proof, okay? These methods do work. They do turn things around. You know, if you need help, this is exactly what I do, right? This is exactly what I do. The specialisms at Ingoldsby Therapy are specialisms for a reason. It's because it's not just about the certificates, it's about the living proof, right? It's why I can say hand on heart that I know that this stuff can get better, because I'm walking proof. Hundreds of my clients are walking proof. I wish you all well, stay well, and I'll be back here very, very soon. Take care, guys.